no flaw. Everything real round here, no flaw. Everything real round here, no flaw. XLT extendo, 4-door black on black with tinted windows, 212s, 5.4L, VA engine as I dwell, sitting custom kitted. Everything I do is misfitted and authentic. You know it's me and mine by the design. Like my name tatted, I got several misses, several triggers, and several hitters. We all go psycho for the dough. Being broke is a no-no. There's too many ways out here to get it. Always on the reach up with it, clutch on my lap when I'm sliding. I keep it San Fran 40 and 9, 24/7 the grind. Muddy near, big step up, militant minor, shooter with shooters, no cap, no flex. Just know everything real round here, no flaw. 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 I get it how I live, against the grain for real. Pay my own way and lane, no deal, no fucks to give. What a hater say you feel, keep that shit over there. We getting paper over here, all sweat, no pain, no tears to fear. Leave somebody mama shouting, wondering what it was all about. Or whoever wanna run their mouth, I came in peace. Fuck the clout, I am this bitch out. Sugar smaller than a mustard seed. Tight of them jeans you'll never see me in. I'm still printing. Big dog, mountain lion mix, stallion. Won't catch me without it. Put it on my unborn child. Don't doubt it. I walked in this bitch with J's on my feet. It's ice on my chest and ear. Everything real round here, no flaw. Everything real round here, no flaw. Everything real round here, no flaw. Everything real round here, no flaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's the new year. Underground Flavors Podcast is live and in the house in my city, my music in 2021. So super, super excited to be here. And we have a wonderful panel. We got people coming in, so I can't wait to get into this show. So I'm going to get into my panel, people. Hope everybody had a safe evening last night. I see so many people are watching. Appreciate Chris Collins, Shaded, Miss Sade, Miss Beautiful Miss Sade. Cedric, thank you for tuning in this new year. All right, to my panel. Let me see if I can get y'all on the big screen. See if I'm savvy. Oh, I made it. I made it. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's see who we have here today. We have Mr. Chris Collins and Noah Wan in the house. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. It's time for a great one. Happy for blessed New Year.
And then I can see that Miss Martin is here. Miss Martin.
Good morning, everyone.
Ooh, good morning, Redhead. That is some fiery hair, baby. Good morning. How are you, Miss Martin?
I am doing well. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year's. Now, I know you got something spiritual to go ahead and throw down on us this morning. Go ahead and do your thing right now and introduce yourself.
Oh, mercy. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I was just listening. Okay, my goodness. Hey, everybody. My name is, yes, Miss Martin, but I'm known as the Red Hawk, thus the red hair. That's my signature look. I do switch up every now and then, but most times you will catch me with some variation of red on top of my head. So that's that. I do live in St. Louis, Missouri. I am a podcaster myself, probably for the past 9 years. Within those 9 years, I discovered that, well, I'm an earth angel. So I'm here to help out through the spiritual realm. So a lot of folks are dealing with, spiritual warfare, and that's where I fit in, uh, the spiritual realm.
Spiritual realm, and we all need that. Thank you for tuning in and joining us today. I can't wait for this New Year's panel to begin. And then we have Mr. Jim Price. Can you hear us? Let's see what we can do. Mr. Jim Price, are you able to? Mr. Jim Price. We'll keep working on it. We got him muted. So, Mr. Price? All right. Well, we will definitely keep trying to see if we can get him in here today on this show. So, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. What did everybody do? I'll start with Miss Martin. What you do to celebrate and bring in the new year before we get into the show? I'm curious.
Okay. I had an adult sleepover. Brought the new year in quietly with my special person. It was very, very nice, very settled, except for all the booming outside. But yeah, I don't do it big. I'm 53 years old, so I'm just happy to still be here. And I just enjoyed the evening, just reflecting on the past, the year going out and everything. So it was a nice, quiet evening.
Chris and Noah, what you do?
Let's go first. I actually spent it at home with my wife and knew that the two of us are going to have a different year this year because I'm going to see some accomplishment every day of things moving in a forward progress. Uh, you know, the past week's been great, and it's done nothing but set it up for a wonderful start to the year.
Yeah, I've also been doing the same. I mean, all I did was had some rehearsal in the morning, hung out, then was just wife and kids because we were supposed to come down, but then that weather. So next time. But so I was gonna spend it nice and quiet, as everybody likes to do now. I was a little too loud through my roaring 20s, as they say. So it's good to be quiet now and just focus on the new year and the future because there's a lot of, I can feel something real good is going to be happening.
All right. And we got Mr. Price. He is talking to me through text. So Mr. Jim Price has a show with 100,000 followers that Chris introduced us to. And so definitely am trying to make sure that he gets in on this platform to be added. And awesome. So we also have another platform that's tuned in, TS for Hope, and I want to be able to have them on one day and let them talk about what they do as far as homeless missions. Awesome. So I'm just reading all the different people. And another shout out to Miss Mika, thank you for tuning in. And everyone, hello, my friend Cedric. I have got to come and get a line from you. I mean, I have got to stop playing. Sade, hope your holiday is beautiful. I'm gonna have to come and see you, and hopefully we can get Mr. Jim Price. He said he's going through all his settings. he got good sound on his side. And Jim, if you can't here, let me just type in the number 515.
Technology. It's getting too complicated.
And for Chris and Noah, you guys are sideways, by the way, on my screen. I just thought I'd let you know that.
I mean, I can change it.
I didn't know if you knew that or not.
Everybody's sideways, so it's looking at us.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh,
There you go. Yeah. If you start your news feed before your video turns, it won't let you rotate it after it starts. So I've had to learn a few things about the rotation thing, and that's probably what happened. So it won't let you rotate it. I'm just throwing that out there. So hopefully we can get Mr. Jim Price in this chit chat and conversation because I listened to his 2-hour podcast. As a matter of fact, let me look him up. Trisha Martin, since you are new to the scene, do you know anything about the Underground Flavors podcast and what we do here?
I did my research, reading or not even just reading, but listening to what was on the website. You sent me a link to a website, so I listened and everything. You guys are, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That was like 2 or 3 days ago. I'm sorry. By me working in the spiritual realm, stuff don't stay in my head because I'm working with people all day. So if you can refresh my memory, I know y'all deal with rent, folks having issues with their tenants and renters and stuff like that. I do remember that much, but you can refresh my memory.
And you just hit it on the head. Nothing to refresh. I mean, that's a nutshell. You know, I deal with a lot of tenants.
Oh, wow.
You know, and a lot of tenants need
That
help.
was spirit then.
No, baby, you was in tuned. That's what that meant. You was in tuned to what was going on.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And
Yes.
so, and that's what
Yes.
I'm looking for is that type of connection with people. You know, it don't have to be something all deep and you got to go dig a well to, get involved. No. Like we supposed to connect one way or another. You know, it's either real or it ain't. You know, there's a connection or it's not. There's nothing to be forced. We here or we not. Period. And it seems like we here.
Okay, but I feel it too. I do. I mean, I do. I feel it.
And Mr. Jim Price has joined. I see you, Mr. Jim Price. How are you?
Doing good. Sorry about the confusion on that. I'm not sure why. I had great audio on my side. Everything was showing up great, but I just went ahead and defaulted to my phone. So here we are.
Hey, you know what? You save the best for last. Is that how we got to do it in the new year? Is that how we got to do it?
I think so. I think it's what we had to do. I everything else was amazing. I could see everything, do everything, but I could not get it to come through. So good morning, folks. How are you guys doing this morning?
Noah, Chris.
Hey.
Have you here?
Chris, Chris, you a little muffled. And I'm going to let you do some introductions since you introduced us to the Jim Price Show.
I wound up, catching him on Facebook, and I started following him immediately. The things the man tries to bring to your attention, and it's just to help all of us, and he's most definitely a patriot. I try to share every show that I can catch with him. If I can call in and talk to him, sometimes I do. But he's been a great guy. I've listened to him. He's got a lot of information and he knows a lot of people.
And Jim Price, tell us about yourself.
Well, just started out about 2 years ago doing a radio show, and most of it was just to kind of call attention to the politics, the hypocrisy, the lies, kind of put a little humor to it, kind of talk about, say, listen, why is it we have this going on? And just asking that next step question, right? Not really talking about the shiny object in front of us. Don't pay attention to what they're trying to show you in the Nashville bombing as some white guy blew up a building. It has to do with what about the communication hub? What about the voting machines that were there? What about the guy who owned the building? What is his connection to Dominion? What is his connection then to, and on and on and on. And so it's asking those next level questions to bring awareness. It's not really, I don't want to, a lot of times I really don't care about picking sides. It's more about, hey guys, how much are they really lying to us? And if they're going to let you pay attention to the shiny object, then you're being lazy and not being well informed. And so as I continue to ask those questions, as kind of continue to push those walls back, more people are asking better questions. And now we're kind of have to rewrite our own mental history in a lot of ways and say, what have we been believing all along? Have we been told lies? Have we been believing those lies? And now I have to rewrite my mental history to figure out what the real truth is. So every time we look at something, we always have to ask that next level question. What is really going on? What are they trying to distract us from? And a lot of it has to do with just individual freedoms, individual liberties. What are they doing to set us free? Or are they just creating more laws and regulations to keep us in that little cattle pen that doesn't give us those options to make our own choices or pursue our own freedoms or our own happiness even?
I watched your Christmas show, and
Thank you.
it was, I found it amusing. I definitely found it amusing. I heard a lot of different topics that I really got into as far as going back to the basics of living. I heard where you said you made comments. I do not like Mr. McConnell in Kentucky. I see you're not a fan of him either.
Right.
Who is? How did he
Right.
get elected besides without paying for it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, whatever he's doing it right because he's had that position for 30,000 years, it feels like. And it sounds like, too, if you ever hear him speak.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the sad part of it is that we're looking at now, what have we learned over the last 45, 50 days? What have we learned about over the last 4 years? Some of the greatest civic lessons, some of the greatest, in reality, like eye-opening experiences that we really thought, oh, I know government. There's a mayor, city council, we got a president. No, now you know how Supreme Court justices are picked. You know how this, and then you find out that Dominion Systems or Diebold, which Diebold was originally a paper counting company who put all the bank systems in. They could count up to 1 trillion pieces of paper and have one mistake. And they built this because they counted money all the time. They dispensed money. And they're like, well, heck, if we can count pieces of paper, what's the difference between that and ballots? Well, then they found out if they could just put in the operating system a leverage or a handicap, like a bowling handicap or a golfing handicap, where you give a guy a couple swings or a couple pins. Same idea. All of a sudden we start finding out that, well, Mitch McConnell's been a part of this whole thing for decades. Well, let's go further than that, decades and decades. And then we find out Diebold has been around since 2000, and it was used in the elections in 2001 in America, and people don't even realize that. And he's a part of that. He's a part of the establishment. And guys, this is not an R&D situation. This is establishment versus non-establishment. If anything we've learned at all is that the establishment wants to maintain the quid pro quo of what they've been doing and how they've been doing it. They don't want you getting in the way. If you're not going to be a pay-to-play guy, they don't want you to be a part of it. They don't care if you signed up under RRD, whether you're white, black, green, doesn't matter to them, as long as you're going to play along with them and kick back the money when you can.
And what is anybody's thoughts to that one? That was a good one, Mr. Price. I definitely concur.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way. That's why I listen to him. Try to share.
Miss Martin, are you into politics at all?
Wow, that was funny you asked that. You pulled that question out of my head because I was going to say I'm very non-political in the sense of the word, but I guess everybody is political to a certain extent because, I do pay attention. So, if I was totally I wouldn't even be paying attention at all. But let's just say as a spiritually mature person, I try not to involve myself in too much of what's going on in the human experience because it's a distraction from my purpose. But again, I'm having the human experience, so I have to pay attention, because I'm here. I really don't like to talk politics because it is a very crappy system, just like all the other man-made systems. So, but I'm just glad that 45 is out so that we can just stop hearing all the complaints about him. I'm ready to hear the new complaints, of this new person. I mean, I mean, nobody's ever going to be happy. Nobody. I mean, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm listening. I'm like the fly on the wall. I'm just sitting here enjoying the madness, while I'm creating my own world and helping others create their own worlds, because that's what we're here to do.
I mean, sitting around and I've always had a disdain for politics. I mean, no matter how good somebody can be for somebody, they're not great for everybody. And so you'll never get that perfect human being. So you'll always get that one side be the other. But right now, what I think we're watching is like half of the country trying to end the American experiment. I mean, they're trying to you want to overturn an election regardless. I mean, shit, who here hasn't ever thought the elections weren't rigged? I mean, now all of a sudden it's a big thing and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Like, give me a break, Like,
They're late.
you gotta figure, yeah.
All right. So let's ask Mr. Price. Where are you headed to? Because it's going to get really even more interesting. Where are you headed to, Mr. Price, in the next week?
On Monday, I will be heading out to D.C. And this is genuinely about the Republic. I believe this has more to do with we, the people, than anything else. I'm watching. If I can tell you right now in one sentence, if I could say, and you guys can agree with that you feel that the elections may have been tainted, that there may have been one vote, some corruption, some type of vote flipped, moved, manipulated in any way, any one of those words. If I can use any one of those words and you could agree with any of those, in that moment, we have failed as we the people, because we are the only ones who give the power to these quote unquote politicians or representatives supposedly doing the business of the people. And in the moment that we give that power away, we say, listen, you know what? It's just fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get it on the next one. We'll figure it out later. Well, yeah, there may have been. Oh, there could have been. Well, as soon as you say may have been, the genuine reliability of that election has been washed away. It's been bleached away. We are now what they call banana republic. We are being sold off to the highest corporate bidder. In other words, we've talked about this before. We might as well put logos or patches on our congressmen because we want to find out who's really paying them off, whether it be Pfizer or Goodyear or Google or Apple or Walmart. Well, the problem is we the people have defaulted a lot of our decisions through laziness, through our own lethargy, just the act of doing nothing and not being involved. And we've defaulted to these people. And now we're all wandering around going, well, hey, well, what? We have these questions. Why aren't you answering it? And they're not willing to answer those questions. At the moment, they're not willing to be truly trustworthy and come out and be absolutely clean with everything they've said or done. That right there, they should be replaced. And what we're doing should be stopped. So, yes, I plan on being in Washington, D.C. for the fact that I will die on my feet for America because America is worth dying for. I will stand for my country, for God and country first and foremost. It's not a political thing. It's for my country. And I don't want to lose what is the last bit of freedom on this earth because we're so used to the cattle cages that we've been living in. It's time to stand up and pursue our own happiness through individual freedoms and individual liberties. And I will be there because I believe in freedom first, not laws and bureaucracy and picking sides.
Now, this is going to be a fire year because I do like what Mr. Price has to say. I don't care whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. I think both sides have done horrible things and have horrible people. I think both sides both need to be drained of the swamp, as people would say in the common political world.
Well, you can't drain just the left side of the swamp. It's all of the
All
swamp,
of it.
right?
So, what I will agree with is when you say, and you are correct, when you taint an iota of something, it's all tainted. Period.
Yeah.
You are correct. Now, I'm going to throw this conversation to Noah and ask Noah if he listened to something that may fit something that was not fair or handled correctly. And would it fit the criteria of like the election of what he's saying? If there was an iota wrong, it should all be turned back. Noah?
Well, okay, so here, I mean, they have found discrepancies, so to speak, but there were for people voting for their dead mother, you know what I'm saying? And like, there's never going to be a 100% de facto correct way to do anything. And so what everybody systematically has been doing is just taking, like he says, our civil liberties, our freedoms, just by not even through law, even necessarily. It's through persecution of judgment, you know, of just on what you look, the way you walk, what you believe. You don't like Trump? Oh, hold on a minute. Your bumper sticker says otherwise. You know, whatever it may be. You know, people falsely claim beliefs upon you, no matter what. I don't think there should be any kind of political party system. I think that there's too many individualism in America, and I think that's what's great about America. That's why I love America. I wish, like, I'm with him, you know, it all needs to go. It all needs to be revamped and run up again, because these people, like you said, I mean, I've been saying that too. I haven't listened to one of your shows, Mr. Price. I wish I will here in the future. I was just told about you from Chris here,
Right.
before we got on, but and I will be listening. But I've said that too before, which is funny that you say that. Is all our politicians should have patches like race cars to find out who do you work for? Oh, big banks, cool. Because you know, I don't really like politicians. I like Bernie personally, just because he fights for people, and he's the only one I've noticed that ever really fights for anybody. I mean, he still, as a politician, man, they're all in some form or some fashion. There's never that golden pony, that unicorn horse out there. They're not there, because the real American is not there. The human that is in our conscious level of being, we don't have. So if you made congressmen have minimum wage of what their state is, and that's what they work for, I guarantee you they start working for the people a little bit harder than what they're doing now. Because Mitch McConnell's one of the five richest politicians in Congress, $35 million. As Bernie said, Kentucky owns 10 of the poorest 25 counties in the country. How are you a $35 million congressman? This is appalling.
I mean, that makes perfect sense, though, if you understand it. Miss Martin.
Yes.
As you were sitting here listening to this, and you hear the theme, if something's wrong, it should all be considered wrong. Does anything come to mind? And it doesn't have to be the election. What comes to your mind when you hear a statement as such?
Let's see here. Well, I mean, if there's a speck of dirt on a white shirt, it's dirty, right?
Right.
So, I mean, we gonna just keep talking about the election and the whole government system. I think, you know, it needs to be torn down and brought back up. I mean,
and
let it burn.
Let's tie it into, let's say somebody gets arrested. Let's say somebody gets arrested and it's found out what's written in the report is inaccurate. Wouldn't that be the same thing as what we're talking about in the election?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, all of these systems that everything needs to be thrown in the wash and cleaned up. Everything.
Correct. And that's what this panel is
Yeah.
really about. And so I'm just want to go through a couple of quick questions. I'm going to let everybody respond. So we went through an arrest. If it's tainted, it needs to be thrown out. What if you rented a building that was condemned? A condemned building. And it's on your court, or you have a court judgment. What about that? A condemned building.
Depend on if you knew the building was condemned prior to you renting it, because then now they're withholding knowledge from you. But I wanted to
fraud.
To go further back to one point is I've been in that situation where I wanted to fight an arrest that happened to me because they illegally pulled me out of the car and searched me. And the lawyer literally told me, well, he must be a veteran cop because he wrote it up a special way that makes it sound like so you can go F yourself. Like, I was like, how is this even our judicial system? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, is it illegal or not? But because the way he wrote it down, like, cancels out the video camera, what actually happened, perpetrated in the time that, like, what? It doesn't, it doesn't make sense. And that's a lawyer telling me that was defending me.
And what you're
It
talking
has to make sense.
But a lot of things he's correct. It doesn't make sense. So the twisted thing, and just trying to stay focused on a condemned building.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. You're good. So if the building is condemned, that's the whole key word, condemned. And whether the
It's
tenant,
fraud if they told you that was a viable building.
and
If
even
they told you it's a condemned building and you rent it, that's on you. But if you so we know that the election's tainted, so it's okay. Or do we go back and, like she just said a minute ago, do we wash the shirt? Do we go back and do a reset, create a clean shirt to start over again, meaning going back to one individual, one ballot, the day of the election?
all right. And so as we think of all these principles and all these different systems, I think maybe, I won't speak for us all, but I think we all agree, maybe, that they're all broken.
Yeah.
Every last one of them
Yes.
broken.
Well, we're so far away from the Constitution, we don't even realize the Constitution in itself almost does not exist in America.
It doesn't.
If you look at the Constitution itself, it is all the laws that we ever needed. It was built to be, this is what you built, this is what you run your country off of. This is the operating system. This is the manual. Everything you do, good, bad, or indifferent, this is how you base it. That's why they say, well, that law is unconstitutional, so it was thrown out. Well, the problem is, why make the law if the Constitution is the law? And the problem is we've gotten so far away from reality of what really law is and what we can have as individual freedoms. See, when I say that word individual freedoms, individual liberties, it gets kind of tossed around. But in reality, folks, we don't have freedom. We have regulations and guidelines and bureaucracy. And just like he said, a police officer who happened to write the right word down so that the case is not thrown out. That's not legal. That's not law. That's not constitutional.
No.
You should not be drug out of your personal property because somebody feels a certain way about you, because they have a suspect of, or they think of, or a probable cause of. And the problem is that we've created all these, we've divided the hair, split it down so much that nothing makes sense anymore. We don't have freedoms anymore. We don't have liberties. We don't get to pursue our own happiness the way we choose to. We can, as long as we pay taxes on our vehicle and pay tax on our gas and pay tax on our insurance, and we have insurance. We put our seatbelt on and we put the right fuel in there and we put the right. See, guys, we don't have freedom. We don't. And that's the one thing I try to push back on so much is we've given away everything for what we think is safety. And we don't have it anymore. The Constitution is built on morality, meaning we understand what's right and wrong. And then that is it. Self-governance is your responsibility. It's not the job of the government to tell you how to be moral and how to be a good person. And in reality, the Constitution should be all we look at. And we shouldn't be looking for another little nanny law to come down and tell us that we have to walk between two stripes of paint on a road to make it legal, or it's called jaywalking. I mean, guys, we've got to realize we've gotten so used to this cage. We're so used to the cage that we are afraid to get rid of it. When I tell people I've ran for office, I said I want to abolish all laws, and I want to have sunset every law. And if you think there's a law important enough to bring back, then you spend time bringing it back brand new, but not to sit there and just keep pounding laws on top of laws. I want freedom first. I want every law based on freedom, not on taking something away from someone else that I think should be a law.
Now that you said that, so many of us, I know me sitting here, and when my guests, hopefully when they arrive, will can chime in at this point, that a lot of times when it comes to certain things, certain communities go through impacts greater than other communities. So there are certain people who know about the impact of your words because they live it on an everyday basis. Now that impact can be done in many different ways, a myriad. It could be done economically. So, and I'll throw that out there because business got closed, and it didn't matter if you were black, white, Asian, Chinese, purple, your business got closed. But you know what? It did matter after a point if you were a corporation versus a small business.
They're trying to eliminate the middle class.
They are, and you're correct on that. And so to know, and I'm just throwing it out and I'm going to open it back up to what the word disparity really means. And I'm hearing that a lot through this conversation. Disparity means when you allow one group of people to do something that another group can't. And so disparity means, as far as economics, if Walmart, Home Depot, all these places, they can have all these people balls to the walls. There is no 6-foot social distancing requirement anywhere. In grocery stores, there's no 6-foot distance requirement. There is nobody being a Nazi like, hey, step away from the fruit, man. Y'all too close to each other. And with that
the helicopter moms are out there. What are you? Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. And I say that because we have businesses that have literally been shut down and being fined. Yeah. If they were to open up or have so many, if they had 20 people, for example, they were to be fined an enormous amount of money. We're talking 20 people in a space, in a place that they literally regulated. Versus corporations that are balls to the wall. Like there is no difference when you go into these stores. Okay, at the register, you're standing 6 feet back. But as you're actually shopping, there is no one saying, hey, you must stay 6 feet apart.
When you're passing somebody in an aisle, you're still passing them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But nobody has
that's
really.
That's the hypocrisy, right? That's the stuff that we can't deal with. That's what we want, our own freedoms. We'll make our own choices. So I want to be close to you. I don't want to be close to you. All right.
So let's go even further. Now imagine being in the inner cities and you're a level to where you've been closed and you're under this. You could only have, so many people, 25% in your shop. What if the person's shop really only houses 5 people, 6 people, because it's such a small shop.
Right.
So for that one person, being able to have 6 people and maybe a line, they were doing well for that one community, that one person. You really have to understand, be able to take it there to really see what I'm saying. And now you were making it, you were living by 6 people. It was enough to keep you going. And now you can only have 1 in the shop or maybe 2. And you're getting fined if you have more than that. How do you survive? What if you're that waitress? Let's use it as a waitress. And they have 4 waitresses working a shift. There's nobody there to serve anymore.
Yep.
So now it's down to 1. What happens to the other 3 waitresses?
Right. And they can't do unemployment because they are working 2 days a week, which then puts them over the unemployment limit. But then that 2 days a week isn't enough to survive on, but they still need the 2 days a week because it's the only money they can get. So then it's okay. It's just, but again, this is okay, guys, the coronavirus, guys, absolutely hands down is literally the elite trying to create the poor. And if you were poor, we're going to make you really poor. If you were middle class, we're going to make you poor. Even if you were upper class, if you're not part of the 1%, they don't care if you got $100 billion in the bank. They're trying to crush you too. They do not want you close to them or their power. This is literally like a little child who has a piece of candy and someone says, not now, after dinner, and they're throwing a fit, trying to shove it in their mouth. These people are doing everything they can to hold on to the power they have trying to make sure that they keep the money they have and squash the rest of us so we can't rise up. The greatest thing that they fear is all of us bothering to stand up all at once together, not divided, all of us together all at once saying we have had enough. We will not be masked. We will not be vaccinated. We will not be held down. You will not tell me how I will create my fortune or my happiness. If my fortune is raising 1 million goats, or my future or my pursuit of my happiness is raising 1 million goats, that's mine. You can't change that. You can't manipulate it. You can't regulate that. That is my happiness. Don't tell me what I can and cannot do. Guys, this is a big deal right now. This is our moment. Are we going to stand up as Americans and say we will not be controlled? We got 100 million guns in America, trillions of rounds. Do you want to have this revolution that says we will take over our government over about 1,000 people? We can walk into government and there's only about 1,000 people that are controlling 320 million people. You don't think we can't flip this over? We can't do a good job? Guys, I'm absolutely dead serious. It is time to stand up, or just figure out what jumpsuit the government wants you to wear and start putting it on, because they're going to tell you how to live your life and where to live and how to live it every single day. And it will get far worse than this.
Oh, you're correct. Because we're in the Great Depression too.
Can I say something real quick?
Come on.
All right.
Sorry.
What he's been talking about and what I've been sitting here listening to, I have spoke to a lot of congressmen, a lot of senators, House representatives, state representatives. It doesn't matter. The one thing I've learned over the past 15 years is they've all made one statement to me as a human being. And that was, we the people, if we show up at their door, those 1,000 people that have those jobs, that run our government, we all show up at their door and tell them they work for us and they're going to do what we say, or we fire them. And we can do it right now. They will do what we say do if they want to be elected. And that is the one key thing that every one of them has looked me dead in the eye and said, Chris, get the people to show up. And just as he said, we need to stand up. And if we all did it and we went and showed up at their door and said, guess what? You work for me. And if you're going to do what we say, then you're going to do it. If not, go home.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Where are those people? Because, all right, so here we got a congressman in Illinois, a Republican, whatever. But now he's like, I'm going to challenge the results in Congress to the Electoral College, and I'm speaking for Illinoisans. Well, who the F are you speaking for? Because everybody I know didn't vote for that flipping scumbag. So I don't know who you're talking about. All of Illinoisans, the 10 people, your constituents, your proxies that you're trying to line pockets of money, you need to get a land deal so you're helping somebody else
in the election.
What is this?
I wonder why.
Yet they want to oppress everybody. They like he said, systematically oppressing us. Oh, if you're even rich, you're now going to be poor. There is no middle class anymore. The more they can spread the wealth gap. Right. I mean, dude. Bezos, one profit for, let's say, a quarter could fix half of the problems in this flipping country. And you think he's going to do it? No. Power. Mine. They're all a bunch of seagulls from that movie, Finding Nemo, pecking at the bird, screaming, mine. Yeah. But it's 4 of them and not 350, like he said, million of them.
We the people, and that's stronger than you. Yeah.
All right. I love that. So
Well, remember, guys, even if Bezos got a divorce this last year and he lost half his shit, and he's still the richest man in the world.
Right. Yeah.
Just guys, he lost half his shit to a woman because he was screwing that nanny, and he's still the richest guy.
That would be Amazon. So I have a question for y'all. I'm gonna play this song, "If I Ruled the World," and it's by Nas. And I want y'all to think on this. What would be your plan? Because what I'm hearing, I think everybody has an element to it. What's lost is the understanding of who we would actually stand up for. I know in this past year, there were people put on the spotlight or the stage that I necessarily would not have stood up for, considering the circumstances surrounding situations. I will stand up for, however, someone that I know that has been falsely charged or falsely arrested, and there is actual proof that there was something wrong that happened. I will stand up for a tenant that has rented a condemned building, that by law and legally, you're not supposed to sign a contract on something that is condemned. And as we think about those things, now we are in a position to actually help people that are going through those very two things: false incarceration or being falsely accused, whether or having your children taken. So really three: your children taken, you being incarcerated, and then being in a condemned building. Those are three issues that impact many, many people across this country, simply and easily. And it keeps them poor. And it also keeps them from qualifying for loans and resources.
Right.
Everybody agree with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right.
Well, and it sounds like that's consumer fraud. If somebody's signing a bill, at least to a building that the building itself has been condemned by the city, saying that it's uninhabitable. In the contract, you're saying that you're giving over a habitable building. That's fraud.
It is fraud.
It's plain and simple. So
You're correct. It is fraud. What? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Somebody's talking. Sorry.
They didn't have it inspected because the tenant can't get it inspected, and the lawyers and the people that are actually that are up in those elected official situations that made these rules, they put a word "if" in there just to cover those people that are just profiting from people's despair. And it's time to change that and bring people from poverty to prosper and create something in every one of these communities. If everyone went for one common goal, it would fix all of these problems coming in as a whole. And the thing is getting people to realize we all are affected. It's against the law for me to have a piece of property, an animal. It's a piece of property. If you lose it in something, you don't get no emotional attachment money if you sued for it. But you can't have it outside in the weather. But it's okay to have your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle. It's okay to have them outside. Where is it that a human being being human is happening today? And if we can start getting our children involved because they only learn what we teach them, we can get this stopped, because our 8-year-olds will be the 10-year-olds that were, sorry, somebody called in. Our 8-year-olds will be our 10-year-olds in 18 years. Well, we have more children that are homeless and going through these problems that the adults have occurred. And that's disgusting. But we know that we can give them an opportunity to change all of the building that's going on. And the only reason it's going on is because the old people don't feel like changing from shooting nails to putting screws in. But I did a project here in Bloomington, and I had an 8-year-old, a 16-year-old, and their father. Their father cut the material. The 16-year-old and the 8-year-old screwed the material together. I built a little building, put OSB on it, put a door on it, and they said that they didn't want me. They noticed that I was about to start building some tiny houses in town, because I showed them that I put a loft in this thing and put a queen-size bedroom in the attic, and I made it 10 foot tall so I could still utilize a lot of space. And they wanted me to take it down. So I went over there and I threw all this material on the ground, unscrewed it, put it in a pile, and now the trusses are going to be rebuilt smaller so they can't complain. But we're going to redesign this material from the same material. But this material can be recycled 1,000 times. That means the washers, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, water heaters, and cars from natural disasters can cause a sustainable way of life as we create a job for every person that don't have one. I do have a letter from Congress in 2011 that was wrote to President Obama, and it says that this home was built in the middle of the woods with cordless screw guns to prove it could be done in any jungle on the planet. It was built without a dumpster. It's time for people. It's an 1,800 square foot home with the highest electric bill of $45, the highest gas bill of $25, and it's 100% on the meter. It was built with no dumpster. The house is 100% recyclable, and the concrete glows in the dark, but it melts the snow off the driveway and sidewalk. And it was deemed by every inspector of Bloomington Normal the best built home in the city. And it was built by 5 guys that never touched the material before in their life. Now, when I threw this truss off the ground, off the roof of this thing, it's 10 feet in the air, so I'm throwing these 6-foot trusses, 14 foot long, onto the ground. They don't get hurt. And if that was a wooden truss, it would have been destroyed. But I took that building apart in an hour and 15 minutes. I couldn't have got the OSB off of it if it was wood frame, and I wouldn't be able to reuse it. I can reuse every component. I stacked it all up, and it's nice and neat. We're building a grocery store on that property in March. It will be built by the community, hopefully, and that it will be a community grocery store ending the food desert in the west side of Bloomington because it was deemed by the USDA 15 years ago, but no one's done anything about it. And we're going to build a grocery store with the community that will deliver food to the community that don't have transportation. Take care of all of our elderly.
Yeah, their closest grocery store is Walmart, and that's the problem that he's even talking about. Yeah. Corporate greed. It is all. Where's Main Street anymore today?
We don't have one, and that's really that's what comes down to the issue. And I want to go back to what we're talking about with false incarceration. We need to really be honest about ending cash bail this year, and honestly get some ideas of how to do that in our communities, because I feel like that. Truthfully, that leads into homelessness. It literally does. It puts a family in a financial bind to where they're like, we could either get Uncle Jesse out of jail or we could pay our rent this month. And these are the people that are going to end up homeless because of these situations. So I think that it's all cyclical with homelessness being caused by false incarceration, being caused by the terrible financial disaster that is cash bail, and just trying to end that. I feel like we are just starting to put stepping stones to where we can get to a point where we start to see less pain with poverty.
Oh, now I'm sliding in. As a host, I'm sliding in. I'm sliding in. What you just said right there. Tell me your name.
That's my brother Jeremy.
Sure. What's up, man? My name is Jeremy Ham. I live here in Bloomington. I'm a union worker for Caterpillar up in Pontiac, Illinois. I have a pretty long background history in serving the homeless. Worked at the Salvation Army as a shelter aide for a long time, and worked at Habitat for a long time, and been really fortunate to cross paths with people that are like-minded like I am, and hopefully just adding more emphasis to the finding others that are like-minded and are just as motivated as you. It's really tough to just say the same thing at the kitchen table every night, complaining about the same things. It's better to talk with people and kind of hear their feedback and getting a better understanding of that. So I'm really thankful that you guys have let me come on.
I just want to say this is a very eclectic group here, extremely eclectic. And
that's an understatement.
A very deep understatement. I just want to say, and I want people, I'll give you a chance and I'll open it back up. If people knew that Jim Price was going to be on my show, if you hear him speak, he'll mention Trump. He's on his way to see him. All that don't bother me. Do as you do, homie. Do as you do. What I like about what he has to say is the fact that, yes, we're all going through the same thing economically, and there is a theme of control that he sees and understands that. And I think where I come in at, and my guests that's supposed to be present come in at, is having the representation of showing that we are the cases that really should get the help that gets ignored. Yes, Chris,
Right.
I see you.
About that real quick.
Yeah.
Because this is going to you, Jim. I know of a case, and it needs clemency. And I think by you, if we do this stuff on Monday that we were talking about, you could have that case in your hand.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see if you couldn't get that case overturned and get that part done. It is a slam dunk case. All the facts are there, everything's there, but also it shows how the justice system was not fair, and it's a lot one-sided, but at the same time, there was things done that shouldn't have been done because the facts were there at the case that was not presented to stop it from being done. And but this case, I think when you go into Washington doing what you're doing, I think this would be something that I know there's a lot of clemencies being signed this right now through Trump
for rich white people, bro.
That we need to change it because this is actually a black lady's case that I think you really need to look at, and if there was any way that anyone can speak about it to get it out in the public, it needs to be done in an immediate situation.
Right. Absolutely.
I will say about the clemencies that Trump has done are showing a vast eclectic mix of people, though. It's not just rich white folks.
Yeah.
Now there are a lot of rich white folks on that list. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't take just to be considered. You usually have to have some kind of support, groundswell for that. Did the guy from the Silk Road get clemency?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. But
Kushner's dad got clemency.
I don't know, man. I'm sure there's a bunch of secret Nazis that got clemency. This is the government we're talking about. But utilizing clemency because Trump does have a populist opinion when it comes to mass incarceration, and he has shown some leadership on that.
But this person is not incarcerated.
Okay.
It is just relieving what is frozen. This lady has money, and she hasn't been able to get to it. It needs to be unfroze. There's no reason whatsoever that
people have children; they should be a part of their lives.
It's not in the Supreme Court being overturned because there's another case like this that was,
sure,
and they didn't do it through any of the appellate courts or anything else. It took it to the Supreme. Now, why would the federal Supreme Court overturn it? And that's where this is. Instead of it going all the way through all that, it needs to be looked at immediately.
Tell people to stop calling you. Busy.
All right, I'm done.
No, you're fine. And do we all understand that the Supreme Court can deny hearing a case? Does everybody understand that?
They do it all the time. They only hear about 1% of the cases that are brought to them.
Right.
So if I can deny, and so what you're talking about, and this is really Jamal's cue, because in this project, everybody just had to learn one element. That's all I asked. And then we become sponges and we listen to them and we learn. So I'm going to do Jamal because he's not here. What he's talking about, what Chris referenced was a court case, a national court case called Shelley versus Kramer. And long story short, the Shelleys lost at the Missouri state level, the Missouri appellate level, and the Missouri Supreme Court level. But they won at the U.S. federal level. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 court cases they had to go through. And on the fourth one, they won. That's cuckoo. Because if you lost on the first one, you lost on the second one, you lost on the third one, how the hell did you win on the fourth one?
Right. Well, and again, see, that's the problem with judges, though. So many times they're giving this omnipotent power of making a single decision, a single choice from a quote-unquote brief. When they say brief, it's a single-page summary. And they can go in, and it could be years of someone's life that they put into this. they read a single page, they have an opinion, and then they state it, and then that changes somebody's life. It changes who they are, what they are instantly, and that's such a bad deal. One thing I wanted to read real quick, and I talk about individual freedoms and individual liberties a lot. This is my base for everything I think of. I don't give a crap what you do, where you do it. I really don't. I mean, I really, really don't. And here's why. In the definition of liberty, liberty is the ability to do as one pleases. It's a synonym for the word freedom. Guys, everything you're talking about, when you talk about someone committing fraud on somebody for signing a building that should never have been under lease, when you talk about somebody needing clemency for their property being returned to them, again, this is freedoms and liberties, doing as you please. Every time a law or a guideline or an ordinance is put in place, that is limiting your liberties. That is limiting your freedom. And we should all be enormously pissed off the moment we see anything going on. And I understand that we all should have self-governance and we should have that ability to do the right thing, but you cannot law in morality into a human being. That morality is based on who they are and what they are and how they were raised. But we all should be angry. We should all be marching. We should all be upset that we want liberty and freedom first, no matter what. And that solves it all. If we're all pursuing liberty, we're all pursuing freedoms, it's amazing what we can do for each other. And we'll do it together. Again, that's us standing up. I'm not saying, hey, you guys go over there on that street. No, you do your thing. I'll go on this street. And we're going to protest for individual ideas. No, liberty and freedom, that solves it all. It solves it all first and foremost. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you think you're going to go to a lawyer to get a ticket resolved or a case resolved, remember most lawyers are on the take because they're part of a system. They're part of a group of men and women who do law every day. So like, hey, John, remember that case I let you get by on? Well, I'm going to get you on this one. That's one hand shakes the other and the lawyer rings. And unless you have a guy who's willing to stand up and push back, be the Thor hammer in the middle of it all, you are going to continue to see the same old crap over and over again. No matter how good the laws are, no matter how many laws we get rid of, as long as the lawyers are still shaking each other's hand at the end of the day, the lawyers and the DAs, the judges, and the lawyers all eat in the same cafeteria in the county courthouse. Ask them. They'll tell you.
We see them together. And so that goes to a discussion we had earlier. And I hear you chiming in, Ms. Martin. I'm going to turn it over to you. Somebody said, well, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not this. I'm not that. Baby, if you think just what you said, you depending on a lawyer, is you cuckoo? That's why we in this mess, because you keep depending on other people. All you have to do is read. If a person ain't there when they was charged, they ain't there. How many names? What offices? Who the hell has something to do with somebody being charged and they literally ain't there? That's pretty cut and dry.
That's what I'm trying to get at, though, too, a little bit when I talk to you about that, is that because you're not a lawyer, he says everybody's scratching everybody's back, shaking everybody's left hand with another left hand. When we go try to do this as civilians or civies, whatever, they're like, they don't want to listen to us. As I heard your case when you're talking to them, they're like, well, that's what it is. Just deal with it. No, that's why I'm here. I am dealing with it. Why don't you start doing your flipping job just because I don't have a bar associate? I'm part of William Ecker. Like I can't get this facilitated in a timely manner or at all because they won't listen to you. I mean, I couldn't even defend my dog when he scratched another dog because I wasn't there. I was like, oh, it's just the dog thing. I'll defend him. Like, the DA that was, like, defending the person was, like, trying to put in witness statements that weren't signed. Like, they were trying to do all this underhanded shit just exactly because I wasn't a lawyer. Like, did I really need a lawyer to go in there and defend my dog? Well, I did because I got charged like $5,000+ for a dog scratch when I was already willing to pay the vet bill. It was like ridiculous. Now my dog, who's sleep all day, who are just big. One's half cow, but because they're pit bulls, they're deemed vicious and dangerous. Like what is going on here? Like, and if you can't even help your dog, sometimes it just makes you feel sad. It's not even depression. It's worse than that.
It's anger.
Help to defend a human being when you can't even defend your dog.
It's anger that turns into violence, because violence is nothing more than anger physically acted out. Miss Martin, what you got to say back there?
I'm just listening to the fellas, and I'm agreeing with. I mean, that's why I'm not really saying anything, because I mean, I talk a lot. So I'm just enjoying, the conversations, and they're saying everything that I think. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have to add anything. I mean, I'm in agreement with Jim, what he's saying, Chris and Chris's brother and other dude over there with the dreads. I'm really, listen, how did I wind up here? I am just enjoying this. This is really wild. But this is where I'm supposed to be, and I appreciate the reaching out. But yeah, it's I'm cool. Very opinionated.
I just wanted you to know and feel welcome to be here. And so, yes, and I'm grateful. So I'm right here.
Yeah.
Mr. Jamal, Slicktown Records just showed up.
Good morning. Good morning.
So he gets the super VIP statement of the house. He waited until the very, very end, and we might have one more. But we definitely, I got to razz him just because it's what I do.
Right.
It's what I do. And I just went over Shelley versus Kramer, too. I'm so sad you missed your spot, but I might come up with something else for you.
All right.
So how are you, Mr. Slicktown Records?
Tired. I just got off the road. I got in last night from Atlanta. A Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody's staying out there safe. Still fighting the quarantine and everything, but I'm looking forward to this 2021. We got some big things coming. If y'all ain't heard, we moved the Harlem Nights to the 9th so we can do it bigger and better. We ain't going to let nothing stop us. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody still come out and be able to bring even more. I'm playing catch up right now, so I got to catch up on where y'all at, and so I can give my opinions and all of that good stuff. But I apologize for being late, but I'm here. I'm always going to be here whether I'm late or not. So y'all might just look at me as the late guy. That's part of being a misfit, but I'm always going to be here.
I love him. And so this is the part where I want to be knocking on doors at like 7 o'clock in the morning, like, get up.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't want to see me here doing this, you'll be on time next time.
That's right.
This is the part where people don't like me, because I will do that. Like, if that's what it takes, and I'm just doing it to be encouraging, to be encouraging. I'm that girl.
Yeah.
I'm that girl. Like, for real. And some people, some people love it, some people hate it. But if you really want to be successful, you should always love somebody that's going out their way to make sure you where you need to be.
Exactly.
That's no haterisms there, unless they come in with a hateful attitude and heart. But if you know that they got your back and they behind you, right.
Yeah. Tough love. I mean, some of us need that. I mean, whether we can handle it or not. I know I do. And I mean...
And he handles me well. And
yeah.
I'll give it to him. He's grown a lot. He has grown a lot to be able to, just like right now, some people will fire back. Some people get smart. Some people be cute. There's no need for any of it, because this is all being done in love and fun and,
right.
and knowing that we definitely,
yeah. It's part of communication and keeping everybody on the same path. It's just what we do. Like, I don't know.
The respect part.
Yeah.
Because I respect him, because I know he was busy. Now, had that been somebody else trying to slide up in that chair without a good one, baby, you could only imagine what my response would have been, them trying to slide in that chair and you ain't got no reason to be late.
Yeah.
Why you here? Right, because I'm going to look at you with a stone cold look as soon as you walk through the door. And you can sit here if you choose to, knowing how my mouth is. And most people back right out the door. They don't even try because they know they wrong, hands down.
What'd you say, Jim?
Firing line called the easy chair.
Yeah.
Don't sit down, babe. I got something for you.
So thank you. And who is your guest?
That's Victoria.
Hello, Victoria. You could come up here if you want to, boo. You don't have to be back there. I just want you to know I'm friendly up here, okay, baby? I'm friendly. So how was Atlanta? Give us a heads up.
Oh, great. Far as the quarantine go, Atlanta was great. What can I say, though? The weather was great. All the different people I met was great. It's part of some good announcements I got coming. I'm not going to announce it on this show, but we got some great things that's coming that's going to benefit everybody sitting at the table. Like, whew, yeah.
And let me get you caught up. So on the show today, we have Mr. Jim Price that you're seeing here.
Hey, Jim.
Hello. Hey.
Nice to meet you.
So
Good seeing you, man.
He has a show. He has a good following. He has a good podcast. And so Mr. Chris Collins introduced us. And then, of course, we got Chris. Then we got Noah. And then we have a beautiful lady named Trisha Martin.
Okay.
That I've invited to be a part who does spiritual guidance and things on that level because we need everybody on deck to do all sorts of different things.
All right. How you doing, Mr. Collins, Mrs. Martin? How y'all doing?
Hey.
Noah, you there?
Good seeing you. Yeah, Noah's here.
All right, yeah. Noah. All right.
And then we have Jeremy. Right, got Jeremy in the background. So Jeremy joined us. So Jeremy was phenomenal too. And he was speaking about prisoners' rights and getting rid of the cash bail. You know, being able to do something right. Everybody has something burning inside of them. And it doesn't have to be the same thing that burns inside of you.
Right.
That's what we need. We don't need robots. We need pieces to a puzzle that fits.
Right.
And as long as I can respect you and you can respect me and my edges aren't jagged to where I'm cutting into you, if we're smooth, we should be able to connect the same principle just like a puzzle.
Right.
We're all a puzzle piece in this huge masterpiece. And when it's done, there's not going to be a museum anywhere that can house this thing.
Well, see, it's like Salvador Dali and Picasso had a baby and then made a jigsaw puzzle. It's like, here, put that together.
That's what
we're doing.
We're creating that. And
That's
that's
what we're
the
doing.
beautiful part. We use everybody's creativity and their passion and their specials. You know, everybody does something special. And if you like what you're doing, well, we want to encourage you to do it even harder. You know, we want you to really enjoy your job. But it's what can we accomplish? That's our key goal here is what can we accomplish on a daily basis to move this movement forward, to make a difference. And doing it, you go to make a statement. Wish I could follow right along and go, because I'd be there.
That's pretty awesome that you're going out there to do your absolute first right. Like the radio, you know, this is fantastic that a group of people that are centered around the same idea that there needs to be actual change and not this marketed, here, look at this, I put it on a poster, hope it's changed, we're figuring it out, thumbs up, everybody's got thumbs up, you know.
Right. You more or less, we just basically need a group of people that basically get together for the same cause, but ain't nobody looking for no fame. I think that's basically what the problem is when people try to come to back a cause. It's, you know, you always get people looking for fame, and that's why they always fail. Versus everybody doing it with a passion, ain't looking for nothing but to give back and help. You know, if those be the key seeds that's planted, you know, I still live by that reach one, teach one. You know what I'm saying? That's just basically where we fell in. We got plenty of people that say they want to do something, but why do you want to do it? Like, are you trying to be famous? Are you trying to get a name? Like, why are you trying to be recognized? Like, because most people that
are you doing it for selfless reasons, or are you doing it because you're
correct,
self-centered?
Right? Like,
and step up to the plate. Like I'm looking at Jamal right here in this suit. You know, he's stepping up. I'm not saying a suit will change you, but I'm saying a suit. If you're trying to get to that direction, you need to be thinking about suit attire.
Right.
This should be a part of your.
And believe it or not, y'all, this is what I mean by this is how I used to dress even as a kid. If y'all saw the last show, I was saying, you know, just everything has changed. The way we dress, that's the whole thing about me putting this event together, is to bring back classiness. This people just want to look good for no reason. Like, if I'm going to the corner store, I want to look good because that's me. It's about me. It's about making me feel good. It ain't about me trying to get attention or nothing like that.
It was called a standard.
Yeah. So
there
it's
was
like,
a standard
I'm
that's no
gonna,
longer there.
You know, that's as of now. This is how most people gonna see me 90% of the time. It's my wardrobe. Like, I'm not just gonna keep on going buying clothes and clothes and clothes. No, I'm finna start putting my suits and my jackets and all that back on, and I will be walking as I am, a CEO every day of my life. You know, we all got to become CEOs of our lives to take charge.
Just for who you want to be, not for who you are.
Exactly. So I'm gonna be an example, and reach one, teach one. Like, I'm not doing it for no fame. It's just me.
On Monday, I'm not for sure. We're gonna talk off, or well, I guess we can have it here because it's not like I'm gonna tell locations. So I mean, we're still pretty private, I guess. So Monday, Mr. Price will be driving through here. And so one of the goals is I'm hoping that, yes, we will see each other. And I know you don't have a lot of time to stay because you are zipping off to Washington, D.C. to go stand for what you believe.
Okay.
Yep.
But we would love to be able to meet you, show you a few things, and all come together and show that, yeah, we have worked on people's court cases. Like, we got the actual court cases, documents, I mean, videos of houses, went and pulled records out of building inspectors. I mean, all this is straight up legit. And to be able to bring us all together, we have an attorney. You know, it's our jobs to make enough noise to where there's no argument. House condemned, it's condemned. Damn, don't be bringing in all that extra. It's condemned. It was condemned when they moved in, when the occupancy permit, okay, that means it's condemned. Whatever money they pay, it's all entitled back, period. Because that's what no occupancy permit means, is condemned. And there's other ways a property could be condemned. And so just real quick, and I'm going to turn it back over. I'm really working on not talking a lot this year.
No, we won't get it together. But I love it because that's part of you being a leader. Like, you passionate about everything that we're doing. And believe me, I wouldn't be sitting here if you weren't passionate.
I believe that.
You know
Believe me.
I wouldn't be sitting here.
We've bonded. We have definitely bonded.
Like, that fire she got, y'all, like, at first I was like, oh, man, she doing this. Just like I said, for fame. And I'm like, no, she's serious about this. Like, she's serious. Like, you did, like, it ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? You'll go broke to make sure people got their rights. And people know their rights. Like, I've seen it. I've seen you, you know, come here and you go broke. And you like, long as my job is done, my mission is complete, that's like satisfying. Like, people don't have that rich glorification no more. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely are part of me becoming back to where I need to be. Because I see your passion and it's like, it meets mine. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely gonna be good. And then even with the Hope Project, the passion that I saw when you were sitting here, it was just like, yeah, even with Noah, like, I see passion. So my thing to the whole squad now is the foundation is set. It's time to build. The foundation is indestructible. We got
a few more we could add to make this foundation. We must we got to have a professor. We must have a professor. They can bring in grants. They have students. They have connections. They can do a lot. Like, I got one, but he's a little wishy-washy now. I need something fresh.
Yeah, professors that are wishy-washy as well, like right now.
And which I reached out to my mayor here in Bloomington. He's a professor at Wesleyan, and he gave us one guy. I don't think he's responded back to us yet, but I also reached back out for several different other things, economics and stuff. But I reached out to ISU as well. But Berkeley College had offered me interns back in the fall, and the interns were great. They've done a lot of projects across the country for a lot of different organizations and a lot of different things that we're all working for one common goal. And I've got 120 interns at Berkeley College that can start January 5th on projects. If there's anything anyone needs as far as research on anything, or if you need stuff and wrote up, you need anything at all on any kind of project, let's put the projects to fruition. Something in some kind of digital, and I can share it up to them, and we will start getting these interns. They each will give us 120 hours each. They have till April 15th to do that, and they're very bright, and we want to be able to do this with every college in the country. It happens to be one that is now, this is our second term of getting them. Last year, I got ISU. They did a marketing plan for this project to take off across the country. I'd love for everybody to get those marketing plans and let's figure them out. They show everything, the storyboards, the billboards, the flyers. They figured out the social media parts of it. But they also showed what we were doing here in Central Illinois to try to create funding that wasn't people for. And we went out and we got 600 local businesses that if you say you're a Hope supporter when you spend your money, so you go to Tony's Tacos, Tobin's Pizza, Great Harvest Bread Company, it doesn't matter what you're spending your money on, from heating and air to getting a car to fixing your car to buying hair. If you say you're a Hope supporter, the business will make a donation because they want to. And that's part we need to get all of the communities to start doing this. And that are there and the connections they already have to say, I want to do something that won't cost you nothing until it works. But as we reach every person in the country to do one common goal, and that is to get our people off the street, on their feet, and give our children a legacy to live on forever as we create a sustainable way of life for them and give them a home when they graduate the program. And our parole prisoners, 95% of them go back to prison. Well, that means we're totally failing our system. So,
that's not where the money is.
No.
That's where the money is. You
Here's
just
where
send
the
them
money-
back to prison.
Here's where the money is at. Here's where the money is.
I'm saying
Give them a $20 an hour job. They now pay taxes, and now they spend money because they're making money. This will build every local community across the country, and if we support our local businesses as we do this, they will grow. The revenue there, they're getting tax right for every dime they get. Help the big man in bringing in everyone.
And yes, you are absolutely correct. I mean, there's so many levels to it all. And so for me in this project, the nucleus will always be an actual person.
I go back for a second and say, the foundation here and what you're really talking about when you want to add these other effects as a professor to be able to give grants and these students. Now we're talking about pillars on top of the foundation. Now we're talking about things that we're going to start building. Sorry, we're going to start using to build on top of our foundation because the foundation could be one person. The foundation could be two people. The table that you set for somebody that you think could be one. The table I think of goes on for an infinite length, and we just keep on adding people at seats at that table, so we're all sitting at the table with one voice and one word. You know what I'm saying?
That's where everybody has everybody's involved in this.
Yeah.
One thing I learned from Trump was a comment running for president. He said this right out there in the country. Do not be mad at me because I haven't paid taxes since 1995. Now, I've also thought about how many people got screwed in that issue. He said it, but he also got elected. Now, he also made up right after that. These laws were not put in place for me. They were put in place for you. Learn them, use them. And one thing I learned in 2016 was if I become a 501c3, I'm an NGO. I am a non-governmental organization, and I can partner with anyone I want. So I'm partnering with every child born, and every adult has to learn it by learning it. But if you realize every person you will ever meet at a grocery store, at a red light, stop sign, walking down the trail, you know, you're standing next to them, that person has something in common with you. And they need to know it because that's how they're all going to make a difference. And when everyone realizes that you have something now, this is the same certification as the Red Cross, the United Way, the Goodwill, Habitat, Salvation Army, that he's seen my organization over the years and what he's done. And the thing is, I've done this for 15 years, but I didn't learn that until, it took many years, 2016. But I'm hearing it right there on the stage of let's learn. I become a 501 2018. For everybody to speak up. You go to that website, hopeforhousing.org. You put in what your comments are. Tell me. Talk to me. Put in your whole information. You are part. And you can make a difference wherever you are.
Right. And the important thing that we need to realize as well is that it's we're reducing it down to class dynamics, where we're saying that what we have in common with each other is the struggle, or what we have in common with each other is poverty, or what we have in common with each other are the things that we grew up with. We are able to identify those things, and that's why the populist idea of Medicare for all, or any of these great ideas of housing as a human right, these great ideas are not just from Black communities or any other specific communities. It's everybody. It's a populist idea. People really want to get behind that. The fact that there are homeless vets in every city. In every city, there's a homeless vet. At least one.
I got a law passed here in Illinois. It's next to the house, and it was old airport, and it became a convention center. Shut down in 2002. One of the last people that went through that actually owns a business here in town. He caters, but he learned how to cook in there. He worked in the kitchen, but he went on to culinary school and stuff, and he has a catering business now, and he's one of our supporters. And he donates 20% of what you spend every day. If you go in there and say you're a Hope supporter, he's just up the street from Noah's house. The difference is, when I got that law passed, the county would sell me the property for $1 because I took it out of state-owned and federally owned property to public use. And it was the only 26 acres that was on this side of the road. It was out in the country. And I was going to make a veterans rehabilitation community there, building homes for the homeless vets all over the country, and getting them guys the support needed to get them back acclimated to life, but also give them a $20 job, the opportunity to go to the union somewhere and be on the commercial side of this. But my part is why be there until we fix this? Right. We got 1.75 million children that are homeless outside that are going to sleep in the cold. We need to figure this out. They get thrown out every day. If they are in a shelter, they're not being able to stay.
Oh, they're not there by 9. You can't even stay, bro.
And the thing is shelters are not the answer. You can't put 100 people in a room and think that you're going to get a good night's sleep. Right. When they all have mental problems. That's the first problem. Yeah. And by giving giving them individuality and a purpose, and also respect for what they have. They have something that they created together. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And this machine, you know, me and Jim's talked about it over the past. He was going to come to Colorado, but COVID hit and kind of stopped everything from the center stuff showing up. Because we were going to go making 120 feet material a minute. That's 100 square foot homes a day. And there's a factory ready to go in Texas right now. And this is where I'm working on getting all this moving. What people build, what blighted properties are where, and actually make a change and start doing this. And come spring, I have enough material made that it's sitting everywhere, and utilizing Dietrich, the largest metal stud provider in the world. They got 12 factories in nationwide distribution, and this material is sitting in every community in the country right now. And if people want to see a difference, make a difference, we need to step up and actually start doing that. And like, as we got other parts of this can be going to Washington and you know, allocating, you know, ways of fixing things from the upper parts. But if we all come together and say, look, we want this congressman, we need you to be doing this. And I've got a guy writing legislation right now for a hunger bill in New Jersey. So we can put it in every state in the country. But from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, every restaurant in the country is not, they're closed, and they are paying the same amount of money for the people to be there and for the electric and for all. The only thing different is food. So what I talked to them about is opening your door from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock for anyone to show up, but we also have the resources there to engage with the kids, do something positive, but also with the adults, and give everyone an opportunity to help themselves, because this isn't a handout, it's a hand up. But if you show your palms, if everybody did that and put out your palms, you're going to notice they're pink. And that's the part we want everybody to know. The human race is pink. I don't care where you come from, what you think. If you hold your hands out, you can help me. Show me this garden side, you can push me. But this way I can grab on, he can grab on. If someone else needs to, they can. But to let him know that he's not alone if he's going through something is a big difference, because that's where people feel today. Just like the people in these cases, they feel alone. But luckily, we do have an attorney. So, you know, things start moving in a positive direction that way is what I'm looking forward to here. We do have a tax person that does the same, and she also knows how to do grants, so that's a positive. But so if there's any out there, anyone has, they need to reach out and share them immediately. And it doesn't have to be super formal or this and that. Just give us some basics of what we're needing them to do, and I can share it and get it up on the board, and we'll figure out how many of them you need. You need 10 of them, fine. It doesn't matter to me as long as we're getting something done over the next 4 months.
Correct. And thank you for saying that. Huge shout out to Carolyn Dilworth of Phoenix Business Solutions. And I will be reaching out to Jeffrey Abraham and some other investors to see if we can get them financially on board to commit, and see if we can get commitments longer than just a 30-day commitment, which we're grateful. But yes, if we can get a 3-month commitment, a 6-month commitment, a year commitment, that would be awesome. But also we know that, you know, those are usually for, I mean, just people who got the money. I mean, pretty much. A small business owner might have it, or a corporation might have it. But those are the goals. And so hopefully when Mr. Price comes through on Monday, we will all be available, if possible, to be able to meet somewhere and maybe do like a small show again.
Okay. You
Live.
said Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is where everybody needs to be able to I don't know. I'm not techie savvy, but I know there's a way for us to be able to blend our audiences.
Yeah.
Well, we got to like an overall existential group. You know, we have to create a bigger name than just Hope and just like Flavors and My City, My Music. Like
That's what
our
we're talking about. We can all
Man
take
Dog
each platform. I mean, I don't know how many Jim
Well,
has.
that's what I'm saying. We need to create a new name, a new entity to establish that the foundation is solid, that it's built, and that we could then enter every other entity that we need to then build it with it. You know, that we would all have
to reach like Jim's $100,000 on
But that's what I'm saying. We would be able to do that if we had that. If, like,
Well, we
yeah,
have the names. We
create-
need people out there willing to share the videos. We need people willing to do the networking part. We need people willing to go out and actually contact sponsors. So let's say if they wanted marketing, you know, we actually have platforms to actually market here at My City, My Music, and on my other platform of KWRH. And really any platform can be utilized for marketing, but when you're talking about sponsorship, most people feel more comfortable if you are actually on a site versus just having your own page, usually is what I have found.
Well, yeah, but again, that attributes to everybody needs to also spend money here. Spend money, create this. Now you got your own page. But if we created our own page as where it's our site, then that like Jim Price is co-creator, Chris is co-creator, Flake is co-creator, Jamal's co-creator, My City, My Music co-creator. You know what I'm saying? Deadman is co-creator, Jeremy co-creator. You know what I'm saying? As we add the round table or the table that is ever extended to the co-creation of that element, then it will always be shared. And then we all have that platform that no matter what it is, we can put it on there because we're all admins of that platform. So bam, now you got Mr. Price putting his daily show on there. Hey, you want to make sure you're listening? Flavin's putting their daily show on there. New music coming out, you know, talking about the problems of society to bring it out, you know, more to light. So you got your entertainment, you got your podcast, you have your ideals, you have your, you know, bringing higher, pushing what? Your means, yeah, man.
Yep,
means.
that's how this was set up. And so it goes back to getting the people to actually do the work. It's already set up that way. I mean, that's why he's an artist and he's here. He's under the artist platform. And Mr. Price, I have him under the political and media platform. And Mr. Collins, I have him under housing and community. And Noah, I have you under artists and community. And you're in Illinois. And Jamal's here in Missouri. So these are the hooks. These are the titles. These are the themes. And now it's actually just orchestrating and putting it to use. So one of the things, you know, like before this show airs at 10 a.m., I need people sending stuff out like, hey, show's airing, putting it in messages, you know, waking people up, sending, you know, that type of thing. Arousing people, you know, they coming in at 10:30. 10:30 is great. But if we can get them in at 10, that would be even better.
I think the biggest thing that we can do, we got enough people already sitting at the table. Though everybody that's sitting at the table need to be on a consistency supporting everything that's being done by everybody sitting at the table. And that way, more people will be more inclined to come and sit at the table because they see a stable structure there that we are supporting each other. You know, y'all see what I'm saying? Where it ain't just one of us supporting everybody, it's everybody supporting everybody and everything that we doing, which, hey, I'm for that. That's why y'all see more of everything we doing here on my page because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't making time for it. But if it's serious, you got to make time for it. And guess who told me that?
And that's what I mean. Like, he has done so well because people will get so mad at me. I have to tell people things and they get so mad at me. And baby, once you show me that you mad, I'm going to leave you alone because obviously we ain't going to work. I'm not going to deal with something that if you can't, I take constructive criticism and I believe in improvement. Tell me something that I can do to improve. I will not get mad at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to sit and take notes if anybody knows me. So you have to be able to take criticism and not get angry about it. Like, I can't deal with it. And so the people that we have here, I think, is a very good temperamental group. Yes, I check everybody out. I listen to Trish Martin. I listen to his songs. I listened to the Jim Price show yesterday. Like, I listen to everything.
See, like now I met Jim. I know he a part of the table. I'll be getting, I'll be reaching out, getting on his platform, making sure that he gets shared. And I'm definitely going to be trying to get out, wherever you're located, because I get all the information I need to get. But what you got to say? Go ahead, Jim.
One of the things that we've been talking about here, and everything that everybody's saying is so spot on. And remember, we've all talked about this little extra we do. And so on my show, I want to pursue this. I want to pursue it as a charity, but it's called the 10%. So everything you guys just said, everybody in this whole group has just said that little extra they want to do. So it's biblical, right? You can tie it into biblical. You can get it to however you want. You can say it's religious. You can say it's spiritual, however you want to do it. But it's the 10%, that little bit of extra you do every single day for your neighbor, your community, your city, your county, your state, and your federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. So that's the thing I say constantly. If we learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish like all these politicians have showed us that they can be, if anything you've learned in the last 4 years is how selfish and self-centered these little pricks are out there doing what they want to do for their pocketbook while we're suffering. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get by while they're out there going, their little tea glasses saying, oh, look how we're doing for the poor. They're not doing that. And if we, as the people, we all start doing more for each other, that little bit of extra every single day, imagine how amazing this country would be, this world would be, if we weren't thinking inward. All sin is based on selfishness. Every single sin is based on what I want for me the way I want it. If we get outside of ourselves, think about how we could do so much for the world around us. And I'm not saying everything. I'm not saying giving 100%. I'm just asking for you to do 10% more of your effort in your day for the men around you, the women around you, the children around you, and your society, your America. If you do that little extra, and we were all doing that, and we weren't trying to suck into ourselves, our needs get met. And I am a living, walking testament to that. My house has had two no-knock warrants on my house. I've had 2 of those, and that's the last 2 years. Now, I have been in the newspaper. I have been demonized. I've lost my security clearances. I can't make a living. I can't get loans. I can't do anything in society. And by the grace of God, because I bothered, you know what? I'm going to do more for others. I'm going to do more for other people. And what I have found is the more I do, my needs get met. And I can't tell you how I'm here today. I can't tell you why my bills are paid today. I cannot tell you why I'm healthy and got a double chin. I can't tell you that, why I'm fed. But it's because I do that little extra, right?
Right.
And that's the only thing I can tell you why it works, because there's no reason. It's not education. It's not neighborhood. It's not any of that. I'm telling you right now, I have 2 felony cases sitting out right now. They're sitting, waiting to be adjudicated. I have real troubles, but here I am. I'm talking to you guys. I've got international touch with my show. I have had Rudy Giuliani in my show. I have had mayors. I've had governors. I've had senators. I've had House representatives on my show, and I've got 2 felony cases sitting out there. And I'm doing this because I think we need more liberties and more freedoms, and we should be doing more for each other. The world needs more people doing selfless acts, and not selfish. And like I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm a testament to that. There's no other reason in the world why I'm here other than I've done more for others and never expected anything in return.
I appreciate you, Mr. Price, telling us about your personal experiences, because 102-9107, that's my DOC number. See, I've been incarcerated before, twice.
Right.
And so when people talk about, false incarceration or anything with that, that hits me hard. And so whenever I walk into a panel, hosted by anybody, and they have a panel about incarceration, and I look up, I can instantly tell if any of those people have been incarcerated or not. And usually it's people who's never done a single day of time hosting these events and having those type of forums, and they have no experience.
It's that 1,000-yard stare. There's a difference in a person who knows, who's been through it, that can give you that experience and understand and empathize, not sympathize. Sympathy means, oh, look at that sucker in the ditch. Empathy says, I go down there and find out why that guy is in the ditch. And I figure out how to get him out of there. Not that I'm going to give up myself, but I'm going to figure out how to get that person out, help themselves out of that situation. And too many of these people that are up there giving us this lip service, talking about how they're this, that, and the other thing, they're going to do all these things for us, have never missed a meal. I grew up on the government cheese. I grew up on that powdered milk. I know that life. And these people running around out there trying to say, oh, we're giving you this. No, you're not giving me anything I didn't give you to give back to me. Right. I want my freedoms first. I want my liberties first. Screw you. I want my country back. I want my freedom back. Don't be giving me this, oh, we're going to do this. No. If you guys just let us go make a living, if you guys go do our thing, we don't need your stimulus check. We don't need your government. And I'm not anti-government. I'm just saying I don't need the government in my life. Individual freedoms, individual liberties is how we make this thing work.
No,
Sorry,
you're
guys.
correct. And we're
got
about
a little
to,
bit of rant there.
And we got to be ranting, but we're making sense. So, and this is articulate. And this is one of the things that I do have to, this is another part that I have to be very bridled. I can't just let anybody come on these platforms and get to screaming and hollering and yelling and calling people names and being all super nasty about it. And like, I'm not down for that either. I say what I got to say. I listen to what people got to say, but you should not have to. If your voice has got to be screaming level to get your point across, first of all, you're going to make me mad and we going to have words because I get headaches.
That's emotion, not facts, right? They're working off
you.
Emotions. Let's stay on the fact level. Let's talk about what we can do here. When you're talking about how you feel, well, okay, we all have feelings. And we could debate that. That's a moving target, right? My feelings move constantly. Let's talk about facts. Set me free, and let's just figure out the rest later.
And if you're not willing to read, my other point, you won't read, you won't listen, so you only going to tell the story through how you want the story to be told. If we're talking about somebody who was falsely incarcerated in the
then you turn into CNN then.
Right. And quote was CNN exactly. Or give me government data. I'm like, you was an idiot to ever believe government data, dingy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So getting people to understand the rules of engagement. You know, there's rules to any and everything. And number one is respect. And if you don't have any respect for yourself, to never shut up and be willing to listen or read about somebody else and then speak, baby, we can never do business together or sit on this platform. So
it's a two-man saw. One hand shakes the other. We have to be able to work together. We're not working on deals to screw people out of their lives or their money, but we're going to work together so that we make sure others who have not woken up to the idea that their freedoms have been taken away. Let's wake them up to their freedoms have been taken away by giving them back to them. Think of how could you wake up somebody? If I gave somebody their freedoms, they're going to wake up suddenly. They're going to realize, like, whoa, what is all this? What do you mean? If you gave people freedom,
I can collect.
Real freedom
without having to pay a fine to the city if they catch me. Like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
We oftentimes equate freedom to is what is more tangible to us. Oftentimes, like these ideas of ownership, of hope, and trying to find what that American dream is for that person is oftentimes abstract. But when we give them something that is tangible, like a home, when it's somebody who has never had a home, has been couch surfing or staying in a shelter their entire life, have a home, that freedom, they can have their home and they can be like, oh, I can do things.
And the support for everything they've been going through up to now.
Right.
Because that's the part. We have those people out there that can give them the service and the support they need by giving the time. Right now, every entity out here that does anything with the homeless, if they're trying to house them, 75% of their resource goes toward that. All right? But every day, that number is increasing. And in Missouri, this week, the moratorium is up, and they are evicting people. It's January. Are you serious? It's not time now to be changing what we went through for the past 9 months.
Right.
The past 9 months was unprecedented. Well, guess what? At the same time, it's still there. And what needs to change is everyone. Everyone needs to start and turn their light on.
Well, like Mr. Price said, you're only going to do that by if we can help each other to give to them, to then show them the light, to give their freedoms back, to open their eyes, to take the cloud from them.
Yeah, that's why I think housing as a human right is definitely probably one of the best populist ideas.
Here you go.
Yep.
Humans on planet Earth housing our people everywhere. Peace on earth, and it's in your hands, but you have to show me your palm so you can hold it.
I love
Remember,
you.
Chris, who are you fighting the most when you're trying to give somebody housing? Who are you fighting? What is the thing? It's not even a who, but what is the thing you fight the most?
I fight the charities that are keeping people repressed. They are afraid of losing their jobs. I have gave this speech. I've done over 40 public speakings that continue to air across the country, and I could have 50 people, 50 different organizations in the room, and the only question that's getting asked of me when I answer every problem they gave me for the past 12 months, and I finally get my chance to say something, is what are we going to do when you empty all of our shelters? I said, I got a job for you, and it ain't housing people. You guys don't know how. I went over to a shelter here in town. This shelter has been doing it for 100 years. They just had a 100-year anniversary. And I called them on the phone. I said, man, you guys been doing this for 100 years? And they got all excited. Said, yeah. And I said, you ain't got a solution yet? You know what I mean?
I do.
They weren't even on the phone with me at that point.
Do you know that we are almost 2 hours has almost went by? An hour and 50 minutes has went by. I mean, this show goes quick. People think 2 hours is long. It doesn't.
No.
It's
You can
not.
have this house for 12 hours, 13, every day.
I love, right. We just got paid Justin for them extra hours, which I wouldn't mind doing. I want to do some sort of like marathon type thing, but it's going to cost. And that's what I mean about making sure that we have our sponsors in place, because they'll pay for stuff like that. We give out good information. We're not going to have a problem getting sponsored. The hardest part is getting organized and set up and learning your speech to speak to your sponsors. That's really your hardest part, is being able to hone down your 3 minutes. And so I'm going to shut up and hone this show down, because I only have 9 minutes and I have 2 artists with music, and I have multiple people who have things to say as a shout out. So, Trisha Martin, I'm going to start with you. Give it to us. What do you want us to know as your closer to this segment?
Oh, wow, this is like a real interview, a closer. First of all, I want to, and I've done interviews before, but I'm a little rusty. But first of all, I just want to thank you for reaching out to me again. I'll say that. I want to thank the creator for allowing us all to make it into 2021 as healthy as we are. We're gonna be healthier. Oh gosh, I'm rambling. That's what I do, y'all. I'm a rambler. But let me see, 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Okay, if you guys want to catch up with me, I do have a YouTube channel, Finally the Red Hawk, because I finally started doing what I was supposed to do. And I don't show up daily. I need to, but I got to get myself together, time-wise, time management. But I'm happy to be here and very excited to be working with you guys. So I think that's all I got to say.
Mr. Jim Price?
Yes, ma'am.
Go for it.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show. I do have a weekly radio show on Saturday evenings. I do a daily update, and I'm on every social media platform out there. You can look me up on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff out there. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, DLive. Anyway, guys, if you want to hear something that's a little bit different. Not saying that I am unique in a lot of ways, but I'm saying that I go that next level question. I ask you, what's beyond the shiny object? Pay attention to what they're really doing, what they're saying. Don't look at the $2,000, don't look at the $600, but look at the crap that they're pulling with this foreign aid stuff they're doing. Yeah. It's always about individual freedoms and individual liberties with me first. I don't give a crap who you are, what you are. This is establishment against non-establishment, and I'm a non-establishment. I've proven that. I've been targeted by the deep state. My house has been raided twice. I have cases that are sitting out there. I will be victorious on this. I will be vindicated, but it's going to take time. And I'm already 6 years into this. The last 2 years have been the roughest, and I'm going to continue to do what I can to make sure that everybody understands what freedom and liberties are about, and make sure that we have a better world for everybody. You pursue your own happiness. That is a God-given constitutional right. It says it right in there. Declaration of Independence gave us the right to do what we want. We don't have lockdowns. We don't have vaccines. We have individual freedoms, individual liberties, and that's where we should start first. So look up the Jim Price Show on any platform you can think of out there, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those, and just ask Alexa, play the Jim Price Show, and it'll play for you.
That's pretty pimp in that artificial intelligence kind of way.
I got to make it easy, man. You got to find me. Just click, click, click. Right?
That's what's up.
That is so scary to me.
I think Alexa's the one's calling the feds on you.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good point.
I got some info on that.
That was a fire point. I think so, too. They do listen to everything. That's why I don't believe in that. Why would you let somebody come in your house that can listen to everything, and it's wired into something?
You don't even want your mom listening to all your conversations. Why are you going to let Alexa do it?
Thank you. Like, I'm creeped out when people start talking. I'm ready to go. Like, oh, hell no. You got who in here? Hell. It ain't just us. Hell.
So just imagine the new smartphones that's controlled by AI. I mean, not just the phones, but the houses.
Oh, see,
that's
I can't
controlled
do
by
it.
the AIs.
And I won't do it, baby. I'm leaving. I've seen too many movies. Help. Chris Collins. Chris has left the building. Mr. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Give us a shout out.
Yeah, because I don't believe in it. No, I'm just playing.
Everybody got jokes.
And I'll something along the lines on a daily blog, because I have a 45-minute commute ahead of me for the rest of my life, because I just started back at Caterpillar like last 2 weeks. Once again, we were talking about being provided for. It's been, kind of one of those years where it's been real lean at times, but like always, you get provided for. I happen to believe in a higher power, and he's done me right this year, so I have to be thankful for 2020, and I'm looking forward to 2021. Looking forward to hanging out on mornings with you guys, for sure. I can't wait to see y'all.
Every Saturday, baby, 10 o'clock a.m.
Oh, yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, we'll utilize the basements, and then we go outside this spring. I mean, it's all about people can pull up, do donations, whatever. If we ain't out the vaccine, I mean, we going to get it popping. People going to be learning skits. Everybody's got cases. Like, nah, there ain't no reason why we ain't earning money all different sorts of ways. Sorry, Juan Noah?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I agree. I can't wait till next Saturday. I'm going to bring Jeremy, and we're going to go, and we're going to do some live stuff with you. So I just really appreciate it. As long as I can attribute the funk for the people, anonymity is the best, in all of this. As long as we can speak as one voice and not an individual voice, like a bunch of individual voices, but as a bunch of individual voices as one voice, then, now we're starting to push people. Then we're taking all these, it's, think of it as a megaphone when it goes out and the sound protrudes, it's like a big triangle shape, and just think about all the masses that we just grabbed, and now we grab them and we get them to speak the same triangle shape. Now it's even bigger, and now before we even know it, we got the whole planet, we got everybody involved, all the pieces. There's
my free energy. You know what I'm saying?
My dude got some multi-level marketing skills right here, man. I'm like ready.
I love y'all. I got 4 minutes, Mr. Jamal. Chris, did you say something? Nah, you was gone. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how are you? I want to thank everybody for coming and what said, and everybody's done a wonderful job. We all do have different points. We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different walks of life. That's key, and all of us are equal. That's the part. Equality is key, and that needs to be taught and set up. Because you're a color and you live here, you can't ever have nothing. That ain't the way it is. Every one of those children that are being born are very creative, and I really want to show that a youth program across the country, a prisoner program, for one, because they're getting stuck in my city. They get stuck out, they get shot off a bus, and these guys had one they had before they went into prison. Now they have nothing, and they're coming into my town trying to figure out what they're doing. And we don't need that, and we don't need it in none of these towns. And we can actually engage with them when they're eligible for parole. Put them in a program. Don't put them out into the society yet. Let them become something they thought they would be, and that you're having an opportunity afterwards. If we changed it by 5%, that would be 100% more than what we're doing right now. And I think we can do it by 50, 60%. And that's where I want to say we need to concentrate on fixing our streets, getting the people off the street, on their feet, stop the suffering, and stop the profiting from people.
All right. And Mr. Jamal Ingram, Slicktown Records.
Well, it's been a good show, y'all. I look forward to next Saturday, the 9th. I look forward to the Harlem Night set. I look forward to my city coming out, showing that we got class and elegance. Stay tuned, y'all. We're dropping new music all year long. And I'm looking forward to where we're going with the underground, the renters and everything. My city, my music. I'm just looking forward to everything this year, y'all. Like, I'm excited, like, above all. This is going to be a phenomenal year.
Because feel like things are actually coming together. So, yes, we got to get out of here. Kick It and Company is already in the building. So we got Big Phil in the house. Kick It and Company. Of course, Justin Kick It definitely came in and had to put his little chime in, which I love that because I think it is Alexa telling on y'all.
Right.
He looking preppy. He looking preppy. That's that big boss shit. I don't never say it right.
Yeah, that's that big boss shit.
I said it right then. There it is. That's how we're going to leave out Underground Flavors in. There it is. There it is. So we are going to take it out with, probably No Retreat, No Surrender. Because that's probably, that is one of my cuts. That's my cut.
RocketPro.com